Hello everyone and welcome to the Mason Mind, a channel to discover the unknown. Over the past few decades, ramen has gained immense popularity in Japan, making it one of the most beloved dishes. This noodle soup dish was originally imported from China, and reinvented in Japan locally has now become a Japanese staple and national dish enjoyed by countless people around the world. In the United States alone, there are over 1,000 ramen shops. It's believed many people have experienced eating ramen. Generally, ramen shops don't have too fancy decorations and instead focus on the food. The classic ingredients for ramen include braised pork, soft-boiled egg, green onion, dried seaweed, fish cake, and bamboo shoots, among others. The ingredients sometimes vary depending on the soup base. For example, corn is a common ingredient in miso ramen, as its natural sweetness complements the flavor of miso. As for the braised pork, some ramen shops prefer to retain some of the fat to allow customers to experience the melt-in-your-mouth deliciousness. Ramen was actually a common meal for the working class to fill their stomachs in the early years. The reason why Japanese society began to accept ramen was because around the time of World War I, the local industry became industrialized and a large number of farmers entered the city to work as laborers. They were exhausted after work, and the most suitable food for them was a bowl of hot soup noodles. Most of these people were bachelors and had no one at home to cook dinner for them when they finished work. Therefore, this inexpensive noodle dish became the favorite food of the laborers. After World War II, ramen evolved from a dish for laborers to a national favorite. The reason behind this is related to the high-speed economic development made people have money to eat meat. But on the other hand, it was because the United States sold wheat to Japan. At that time, the Japanese government was forced to promote flour products, so they actively promoted noodle dishes. Ramen, which was already quite popular, became even more popular. Today, ramen has become an indispensable food for the Japanese. Today, we would like to talk about one of the most successful ramen brands, which is ICHIRAN. They are famous for its rich tonkotsu, pork bone broth, Hakata-style ramen. There will be many people queuing up every time they open a new shop. But do you know that besides the taste of the ramen itself, ICHIRAN also uses many psychological techniques to make everyone so obsessed with it? It all started 62 years ago in 1960, when a couple opened a roadside stall called Futaba Ramen in Fukuoka. Later, in 1966, they changed the name to ICHIRAN. The ramen they made was very delicious, especially the secret red sauce placed in the middle of the ramen. Everyone who tried it praised it endlessly. Not only did they become addicted to it themselves, but also their family and friends. Gradually, ICHIRAN became a locally famous roadside ramen stall. As the couple got older, they mentioned to a customer during a conversation that they planned to close the shop and retire. This customer, who is now the current president of ICHIRAN, Manabu Yoshitomi, volunteered to take over the shop. The old couple passed on the business and secret recipe of ICHIRAN to him. In 1993, ICHIRAN Ramen officially opened its first store in Nakasu, Fukuoka. From then on, it was unstoppable, expanding continuously throughout Japan and eventually venturing overseas from Hong Kong in 2013, becoming the world's most famous ramen chain. However, the key to its success is not only the taste of its ramen, but also the original Ramen Focus Booths concept created by Yoshitomi. Anyone who has eaten at other ramen shops in Japan knows that they usually have an open design with no barriers between seats, and individual diners sit side by side. But Japanese people are particularly self-conscious and concerned about the perception of others. For example, Japanese women are afraid that people might think they are gluttons if they order too much or put too much garlic. Therefore, many Japanese women are reluctant to go to ramen shops alone. After noticing this phenomenon, Yoshitomi decided to improve the seating design, and in 1993, the Ramen Focus Booths were introduced. The small space with seats separated by dividers allows customers to enjoy their ramen without worrying about other people's opinions. Customers can order as much ramen and garlic as they want and eat in any position without fear of being seen, even though nearby customers cannot see them, but the staff at the counter could still see them. To address this issue, Yoshitomi additionally added a curtain in front of the counter to separate the customers and the staff. The curtain is only lifted when the ramen is served, and the staff cannot see the customer's face. But that's not all. Customers pay at the vending machine before entering the restaurant and select their favorite flavor, noodle hardness, toppings, etc. using a paper order form. Once they finish filling out the order form, they hand it to the staff by pressing the call bell button. The staff then delivers the ramen to the customer's table quickly. If customers want to order more ramen, they can place an additional order on a special small plate and put it in a designated location. The system automatically notifies the staff to serve more ramen. Customers can also get their water and tissues themselves freely. When they finish eating, they simply leave without needing to speak to the staff. The entire process is so automated that it is almost completely staffless. For people with social anxiety, this is such an efficient and great antisocial experience. Yoshitomi called this reception system, which includes the Ramen Focus Booths, the flavor concentration counter system. With this reception system, ICHIRAN not only defeated its competitors and became the ramen chain with the highest percentage of female customers, and it also attracted many foreign tourists. Because most ramen shops ask customers about the firmness of the noodles, or whether they want green onions or other toppings when ordering. But tourists who do not understand Japanese and shop staff who may not speak multiple languages can make many tourists afraid to enter local ramen shops. However, ICHIRAN is different. Customers can order ramen without speaking by using the existing vending machine and adding translation sentences on the dining paper and other necessary places. Even if you do not understand Japanese, you can order ramen at ICHIRAN by yourself. Although ICHIRAN's flavor concentration counter system seems to be designed for customers to concentrate on enjoying ramen, but it is not entirely designed for customers, but ICHIRAN as well. For example, because the Ramen Focus Booths separate the seats, it is not easy to chat with friends sitting next to you, so if there is nothing else to do, you can only focus on eating ramen. Eating ramen faster will naturally increase the table turnover rate. In addition, most food and beverage shops in Japan will try to avoid hiring employees with dyed hair or tattoos to maintain their image. Of course, those who do not speak Japanese will not be considered either. However, after ICHIRAN separated the customers and staff with curtains, both parties did not see each other's faces or speak, which allowed ICHIRAN to hire staff with golden hair or tattoos, or foreigners and international students who do not speak Japanese as staff. Of course, the salaries of these people are relatively cheap. With increased profits and reduced expenses, the profit margin naturally increases. The profit margin of most individual food and beverage shops in Japan is averagely 5%, and the profit margin of chain restaurants that control costs is about 8% to 10%. However, ICHIRAN's profit margin is about 15%, which is the highest among all food and beverage companies in Japan. With this unique flavor concentration counter system, ICHIRAN's performance has grown every year since 2012 Japan's inbound tourism boom. In 2019, sales reached a peak of 28.8 billion yen. However, you may wonder why other ramen shops do not follow ICHIRAN's strategy and adopt the flavor concentration counter system. This is because in 2003, Yoshitomi applied for a patent for a complete set of decentralized systems invented by himself. If you plagiarize the private booths, paper order form, call bell system, and others of the entire flavor concentration counter system, you may have the opportunity to face a lawsuit. Therefore, ICHIRAN can become such a unique existence. However, as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. Since the outbreak of the pandemic in 2019, the number of people traveling to Japan has decreased, which has also dragged down ICHIRAN's performance. In 2020, ICHIRAN's sales fell 35.4% from the peak of 28.8 billion yen to only 18.6 billion yen, and slightly increased to 19.2 billion in 2021. ICHIRAN also closed few of their stores in Tokyo, Nagoya, and in Fukuoka. The remaining stores have also reduced operating hours to save costs. To mitigate the bad situations, ICHIRAN launched Cup Noodle series in 2021, including a ramen cup noodle based on its signature Tonkotsu soup. This move is seen as part of the company's efforts to adapt to market demand and expand its business during the pandemic. However, ICHIRAN faced some criticism in 2021 for the high price of their cup noodles, which cost 490 yen, despite the average price of cup noodles in Japan being 206 yen. The noodles also lacked any toppings, such as meat or green onions, which caused some customers to be dissatisfied. ICHIRAN's explanation for this was that they wanted to preserve the purity of the flavor of their noodles. To maintain their brand image, ICHIRAN pressured their distributors not to lower the price of their products, which led to an investigation for violating antitrust laws, and ICHIRAN had to submit a letter of apology and promise not to repeat the offense. However, ICHIRAN may face new challenges in the near future because the patent for Yoshitomi's flavor concentration counter system will expire in 2023 on August 8th after 20 years. This could lead to other ramen shops using similar systems, which could further worsen ICHIRAN's business. Let's see how ICHIRAN Ramen will preserve its ramen empire. That's all for today's sharing. Please hit the like button and share if you like this video. Feel free to leave a comment below. If you like our channel, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next episode. Let's discover the unknown together.